Welcome to Economics Binoculars, the channel where we zoom in on all things economics. Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. It has become the hottest economic term since Donald Trump was elected. If tariff is so important, and what is it, and why should we care? So, grab your economic binoculars, because we're going to explore everything about tariffs, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to talk tariffs like a pro at your next dinner party. Let's go. In this video, you will learn what is a tariff, modern tariffs and Trump's trade war, what to expect, inflation, who will win. Alright, let's start simple. A tariff is basically a tax on imports or exports between countries. Picture this: country A making furniture for a cost of $80 and sell it for $90, while similar furniture costs country B $110 to make and sell it for $120. To make more profit, country A sells its furniture to country B for $100, undercutting the local competition. This doesn't sit well with furniture manufacturers in country B, who can't compete because $110 is their cost to produce. To protect its industry, country B imposes a 20% tariff on furniture from country A. Now, for every $100 worth of furniture country A exports, an extra $20 is added as a tax, wiping out country A's price advantage. In retaliation, country A imposes a 30% tariff on soybeans exported from country B, making them more expensive in country A. Suddenly, soybean farmers in country B struggle to compete in the market. This tit for tat is the essence of a tariff war, where both countries aim to gain leverage, but often end up harming their own consumers and industries in the process. Who wins? Well, stick around, and we'll break it all down. By the way, did you notice the shape of these two countries and their products in this example seems a bit familiar? No, it's definitely not what you think it is. This is a totally random example. Gotta be, right? Now, you might be wondering, wait, tariffs are just a modern thing, right? Nope, my friends. They go way back. In fact, tariffs have been around since ancient trade routes. During the U.S. Civil War in the 1800s, where tariffs made up more than 50% of the federal revenue. Tariffs were so important back then, they were almost like the government's main source of income. In the late 1800s, when President William McKinley, often called the Napoleon of Protectionism, introduced some of the highest tariffs in U.S. history. The McKinley Tariff of 1890 raised duties on imports to nearly 50%, aiming to protect American industries and jobs. On the upside, this helped domestic manufacturers by reducing competition from cheaper foreign goods. But here's the catch. It also led to higher prices for consumers, making everyday items more expensive. Alright, fast forward to 2016. And things got spicy in the world of trade when Donald Trump stepped into office. He started firing off tariffs left and right, like a businessman who had just discovered a new way to play Monopoly. The US imposed tariffs on China, the EU, and even Canada. I mean, no one was safe. To give you some numbers, by 2019, the US had imposed over $370 billion worth of tariffs on China alone. This was part of what we now call the US-China trade war. Here's a chart showing the increase in tariffs from 2016 to 2019. Now, here's where the debate gets juicy. You've got the pro-tariff crowd who say it's all about protecting domestic industries, boosting jobs, and making America's economy stronger. In fact, some studies suggest that tariffs on steel and aluminum saved about 33,000 jobs in the U.S. manufacturing sector. But on the flip side, the anti-tariff folks argue that tariffs lead to higher prices for consumers, and cause inflation. Okay, so here's where we get to the good stuff, how tariffs affect you and me. When the government slaps a tariff on something, it usually means higher prices for stuff we buy. So, what's next? Well, many manufacturers might try to reroute their goods through a third country to avoid tariffs. Take country A's furniture in our example. Rather than shipping directly to country B, they could send it to country C or D, countries with lower or even zero tariffs, before finally shipping it to country B. This makes it look like the furniture originated from country C or D. This practice is known as transshipment and origin laundering. While origin laundering is considered fraudulent, there's a loophole. If country A's manufacturers set up factories in country D, just to add a final touch to the furniture, then it's perfectly legal to label it as made in country D and ship it to country B with minimal tariffs. Wait, did country C and D seem familiar? Well, now you understand why Trump proposed a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico before targeting China. Essentially, manufacturers could ship products through Mexico, then on to Guatemala, Costa Rica, Colombia, the UK, Spain, Nigeria, and so on. How can the US prevent transshipment? Would the solution be trade wars with every country? So, who's going to win in the end? Before jumping to conclusions, let's look at this trade war from another angle. When Trump suggested using tariffs as an economic weapon, why did almost all other countries react with anxiety? It's because the US is the world's largest consumer. Take a look at the top 20 countries with the largest trade deficits, and the US stands out by far, with a deficit of $784.89 billion. In simple terms, the US has a stronger economy and is the biggest customer on the planet. Since the US imports far more than it exports, other countries can't win the trade war, even if they impose tariffs on the US in retaliation. So, if we only look at the numbers, it seems like the US would win, right? Not so fast. Remember the impact of higher prices we talked about previously. The cost of tariffs gets passed on to American consumers and businesses, leading to inflation, which could harm the economy. In the end, tariffs are a double-edged sword. Do you think tariffs are an effective way to protect local industries and help make America great again? Do you think inflation will come back under the next administration? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends who need to get tariff smart, and of course, subscribe for more economics content coming your way. Thanks for tuning in to Economics Binoculars, and I'll see you next time.